Almost 3 months ago, Parents' Day happened, and even though that reviewing this episode months after that is odd, but in this type of episode from OKKO, centering around the debut of Enid's parents, not to mention that it's taking place in Enid's place that is spooky, this is still Halloween Mania material, especially after reviewing Monster Party last year. Parents' Day at the Plaza is happening, and the only parents who didn't arrive are Enid's parents. But judging of how her life is way more private than anyone else, it's really for the best. And if you really think that Rad's parents were way more embarrassing after watching them in the beginning of the episode, enter Bernard and Wilnina, Enid's parents who KO and Rad follow Enid to her place to meet them in the first place, which really made Enid really unpleased. This episode showcasing the debut of Enid's parents and the fact that she wants her life to be private by any means necessary. It was probably a difficult time for her to convince her parents that she went to a different place to form witch spells, when in reality she's working for a job while being a ninja rather than being a witch. And since I've talked about Monster Party last year, showcasing of how terrible she's done when it comes to witch spells, her parents are obviously those types of parents who want their child to succeed in their own vision rather than the vision the child wants. Granted, this episode showcases of how Enid's parents are mainly go-happy, but at the same time they're also embarrassingly dreadful when it comes to their interactions with Rad and KO. If anything, the fact that we've seen most of these materials in past episodes, if more people actually saw what Enid's parents were doing at the plaza, then I'm pretty sure it would have easily wrecked Enid to the point of no return. The reactions of KO and Rad in this when it comes to the origins of Enid, even though it's not really much of an origins, it's just mainly her parents just embarrassing her and for how she wants to be a ninja but she can't, so she has to go behind the parents' back. If anything, if I was in their position, I wouldn't laugh at everything, but I can really tell it would have been really unusual to make me see a friend go through a situation of embarrassment and going to a direction that they refuse to take. Yes, this is KO and Rad we're talking about, but every time I look at these two, mainly laughing at Enid's embarrassment, it really feels like that they're mostly tools for Enid to work with when it comes to the final minutes of the episode. There's two ghosts called Spanky and Crud who are taking control of KO and Rad's bodies, and this leads to a battle between them and Enid's parents outside of the building. And when Enid chimes in, she uses a tornado technique when it comes to her being a witch and a ninja technique by preventing the two ghosts controlling KO and Rat's body, which leads to Enid's mother sealing them back to bed inside the building. If we actually knew who these characters were when it comes to Enid's life, then I can't imagine what they would have done if they actually embarrassed Enid big time if they come over to the plaza for Parents' Day, but thank the Lord it never happened. When it comes to the revelation towards the end, honestly, it's really impressive that Enid's parents aren't strict. Otherwise, we would have went through the same scenarios as from the Steven Universe episode where Connie had a conversation with her mother towards the end of that episode. Let's be real, sometimes when these characters aren't strict, it's mostly a good thing that there's a different change of pace in different direction that really makes these characters really likable, but also understanding at the same time. I may have talked about Monster Party last year, but every time I look at this episode, it really symbolizes everything of how Enid's character has probably one of the best character arcs in the entire series. Granted, KO may be in second place when it comes to character arcs, but whenever I look back into these episodes, despite not watching the entire series entirely, I'm also thinking of having this show as a contender for a Summerpalooza 6 marathon, in the same ways as Amphibia and Craig of the Creek. But then again, there's an unlikely chance that it won't happen, mainly of it being included with those shows, since that those shows are mainly my top priorities. This is just mainly a last minute addition, judging of how I feel at the moment, but keep in mind, Summerpalooza 6 next year could happen or could not. But that's just mainly on how I feel when it comes to the time that I have in order to make it a reality or not. With that being said, I'm giving this episode a 7.5 out of 10, and let's just hope that the future will be for OKKO if it does have a chance to shine against the other shows for next year's marathon. If or if not.